Chargers at the Texans. Your Texans.
My Texans.
Mr. Crasher.
1 down, 3 to go.
1 down.
Super Bowl champions.
100-1.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Geez, the defense looked good. That actually, to me, jokes aside about my 100-1 Texans bet that's probably going to die this weekend. But to me, kind of the most interesting thing out of this weekend is just like, is this Texans defense, is this going to be the best defense in football? Because they just wrecked that game.
They did, and I think there's a lot of, they have the building blocks to be that. They have 2 elite edge rushers in Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. They have an elite number 1 corner in Stingley. Now they just need to fill out the pieces. They probably need a big defensive tackle.
Lassiter's a nice piece.
Lassiter is a nice piece, and he had a solid rookie season. They probably need a big defensive tackle in between those guys, 1 more linebacker. They're close. They're close. I thought there was a lot of real boneheaded decisions by Herbert, though, that are you could evaluate in a vacuum away from how good a defense
I'm offended that my Texans are 8.5-point dogs in Kansas City. That's offensive. 8.5. They were 3.5-point dogs in Kansas City like 3 weeks ago, and they almost won the game. I don't understand that line at all.
I mean, I was just saying, just given that the Chiefs haven't played meaningful football, their starters, since Christmas, right? So it's a very long break. And if there's one weakness of the Kansas City Chiefs, it's that offensive line. If they can get home on Mahomes, they got a shot in this thing.
Just saying, Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter looking a little O.C. Umenyiora, Justin Tuckish from that Giants run.
Awesome.
They can wreck the game with their D-line, and then Stroud and Nico. Stroud was shaky to start, but then he really found a rhythm. And Nico Collins is a top 4 wide receiver in football.
There's no question. And if they can get Mixon going the way they did in the second half against the Chargers, I think that the Chiefs likely win this game. But if the Texans end up upsetting them, it wouldn't be a shock given how well given how they match up with Kansas City.
Yeah, they got to keep Mahomes. They give him a chance in this one. And Joe Thuney kicking out to tackle has been better for the Chiefs. So we'll see how that kind of plays out ultimately. But the Texans, their defense is a lot to handle right now. When you can rush and cover, you can hang with anybody traditionally.
Justin Herbert had 3 interceptions in the regular season. He had 4 against, and I mean, listen, Ladd McConkey was McConkulous. He was absolutely ridiculous. But
that's awesome.
They have no one else. That was an embarrassing day at the office for the Chargers.
Bad QJ day at the Roars time.
Yeah,
brutal. We're all doing a playoff pool, and I got stuck with Quentin Johnston, and
it kind of summed up the game and where the Chargers are at in terms of what they need to fix. That, on one of the biggest plays of the game, 4th and 2, they throw to Quentin Johnston one-on-one man coverage against Derek Stingley. It's like, oh, that didn't work out. I didn't think it would.
Right, and you got to get to the sticks.
Yeah,
that was another issue.
Strange. Yeah, that was back when the famous Patriots 4th and 2 against the Colts. Where
and I didn't understand how much usage Gus Edwards got, on short and got to have it, and Dobbins has been great all year, and Edwards has been toast all year, and all of a sudden, and he hasn't been active. I mean, because he's been banged up. I thought Herbert played very poorly, but I also thought it was a poorly coached game.
Disley's had some brutal drops. Soul-crushing, team-deflating drops.
Yeah, Disley was bad too. Disley and Herbert both just chose to have the worst day of the office on the biggest stage. But McConkey's amazing. They need somebody else with him.
Yeah.
I mean, 197 receiving yards is against this secondary.
He was great.
Nobody can cover him. It's unbelievable. We'll be excited to talk about him going into next year.
And people I always, I tweeted out McConkulous, and people were like, oh, Gladiator is so much better. It's not. It's not Gladiator. McConkey's basically Connor size. He's not a Gladiator.
I actually have a picture with him at the Combine. Somebody tweeted at me that we look like brothers, which we are the same exact size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Connor, but Connor's not,
I just
NFL
don't get open against Derek Stingley.
Drawing comparisons to Russell Crowe and Gladiator for our own Connor Rogers. No, he's Connor Conculus.
We'll see if that one sticks.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.